Morning guys, I'm Dave Canterbury with the Pathfinder School, and what I want to do today is I want to do some refurbishing and repair on this antique coffee pot. And this coffee pot's probably from the late 1800s. It's made from tin that's been crimped and or soldered together. The problem that this pot has is it has a repair somewhere in its history. It looks to me like here on the front nozzle or the spout of the pot, where it's come untinned or come unwelded. Basically, you're just connecting two pieces of harder metal together with a softer metal when you're soldering. And I've started to work on this side a little bit and get it tinned up where it's come and split open right here. And what that causes it to do is when you go to pour it, instead of coming out the spout, because you have a straining device in here, it leaks out the sides. So I'm going to try to resolder that. It looks like that's been done somewhere in the past, like I said, on this piece in its history somewhere. But I'm going to do it again so that this is a usable coffee pot for around camp and things like that, because it is a good size, nice, probably a 3, maybe even a 4-quart coffee pot, pretty close to a gallon. So I want to get this thing back in working condition, and to do that I'm going to have to solder it. So what I've done is I've cleaned the surfaces of this area that I'm going to solder, and then I'm starting to apply a tinning to both the surfaces on both sides of this joint where it butts together on the metal. So what I'm doing now is I'm just tinning both sides of this joint where it butts together right here, and then I'm going to run a little fillet joint right down the middle of that. And I'm going to look at this other one too, because I think it might have a crack in it. I'm going to try to fix that as well. And we'll get a whole new weld bead around the spout of this tin coffee pot, and then it should be ready to be used again. So we're going to use a nice hot soldering iron with a flat tip. That wide surface area is going to give us a nice fillet weld in there. And we're going to use a flux cord solder. Stay with me. Quite have enough solder in there to get that joint to fill in real well. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. That's a thick joint right there, so it's taking a little bit of time to get it laid in there. But if we don't want this thing to leak, starting to look pretty good there. We can smooth it out after the fact a little bit. Right now I'm more worried about getting it sealed than anything else. Try something tricky right here. Kind of stand it up and see if we can get that the flow right into that hole maybe. Now we'll load a little more solder on her. Try to pull some down into it from up here. Alright. Try to sneak some on the tip here and see if I can fill it. There we go, boom. Be real happy with that if it didn't leak. Alright, I was going to re-tin the other side too and resolder it. While we're at it. Probably being overly anal about this, to be honest with you. I just want it to look pretty good too. Just really trying to run that puddle down into your seam, and the more I mess with this, the more it's kind of like welding. Haven't done too much of this soldering, as I'm sure anybody with experience can tell. But it's just another skill to put in the toolbox for repairing things that you might get a hold of that are in need. Might have to add a little bit to this. I think I've been melting a little bit of the old solder on here, which that ain't bothering me either. Load my tip a little bit here and you see that puddle wanting to run downhill there. I need to reposition this a little bit. Like I said, it's the first time I've tried to do this, and you can see I got a much thinner, nicer weld on this side than I did on this side. And a lot of that is just a function of getting used to the tool and how it operates. I'm really pretty happy with this other side. I'm okay with both sides as long as it doesn't leak for sure. I'm just kind of looking for holes, and I guess the only way to really test that is to fill it with water. Still a little concerned with this one spot right here, but I'm not sure that it's a hole and not just a sloppy spot in my welding here. Try to heat it back up for a minute and draw some metal into it here. Well, now that the work's done, there's only one thing to do, and that's to test it. So I filled it up with water a little bit, and now I just want to pour it out of the spout here and make sure that the only water that's coming out of this thing is what's coming out of the spout, and nothing's leaking on the sides or on the bottom. Looks pretty good. Looks like we got a pretty good seal. See any leaks anywhere else on the spout? I'd say we're good to go. Tinning is just another one of those skills that you can put in your toolbox if you understand how it works, and it will help you further your self-reliance. I'm Dave Canterbury at the Pathfinder School. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your views. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, and for our business. All of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends, and I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.